We have so many things happening in running right now, and so many like interesting things that have popped up in the news.
I feel like it's Q1 crazies.
Yeah. So we thought we'd have a little episode of recapping the things that we thought were interesting and bringing you up to speed on some of the things that are happening in the running industry right now. So first up, we want to say we recently recorded.
We are clairvoyant. We may be geniuses.
we might be, and also we looked way out of date with our last episode because we completely missed the mark. We recorded our episode about the World Marathon Majors right before New York City lottery was announced. And wow, was there drama around
a lot of drama.
New York City.
But I think it took a lot of people by surprise.
Yeah.
It wasn't just us.
Yeah. There were a record number of applicants denied entry through the lottery this year. So for the 2026 TCS New York City Marathon, only about 1% of the record 240,000.
That's 250,000 people.
250,000 people entered the New York City lottery and only 1% got in.
Do you know anyone that got in?
I do not.
I don't either.
No.
This turned into London.
So of that 1%, that means that's about 2,400 to 3,000 applicants that got in. Now, the New York City Marathon has just under 60,000 runners. So what happens to the rest of those spots? Well, those ones go to charity runners, which we talked about extensively in our World Marathon Majors episode about charity being a really good way
to get in.
It also goes to the New York Roadrunners members, so your local New York City folks who run their 9+1 races. And then timed folks. So the timed piece is another source of drama for New York City.
Yeah, it is.
So for those folks, athletes who wanted to time qualify for New York City had to run, wait for it, 22 minutes and 52 seconds faster than the time qualifier to get in as timed entries. Now, there's already pretty high level standards for timed entries for New York City.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, they really. I think people sometimes don't realize that for a lot of the majors, the time standards are much harder than Boston.
Yeah, so for New York City, as an example, for men 18 to 35, you need to run a 2:53. And in order to get in this time, you had to run 23 minutes faster than that.
That's crazy.
For women at that age, 18 to 34, it's 3:13. So it is very competitive running already. So New York City, lots of drama around that. Part of it, I think, is because it's the 50th anniversary of the race.
I don't think I knew that.
Oh,
well, that explains a lot.
So that's part of it. 250,000 people wanted in on this amazing experience. And then the other piece is that they have said that they want to raise $100 million through charity entries this year because of the 50th anniversary. That number, which I don't think is widely publicized, but in 2024, they raised a record $70 million.
So they're increasing that a lot.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, last year's numbers haven't come out yet, but they are trying to hit that 100 million mark, and they would need a lot of charity runners to do that. So I think some more bibs were designated to charity to try to reach that goal. And so bottom line is it was really difficult to get into New York this year, and also it's going to be a really special 50th anniversary race.
All right, I'm going further with this, T.
Yeah.
So that announcement came out, and then I don't know about you, but for my fall racers, if they have a bigger race like a Chicago on the docket, we will a lot of times set up what we call a net race, something like an Indy or a Philly or a CIM for them to keep on their radar. CIM filled. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah. So right after, because this is one of those net races that it's not that it doesn't fill, it absolutely does, but it's effing March, people.
Yeah.
This should not necessarily be the reality, but it did. Yeah, it already filled. So all that to say, there is an overflow, there is an interest. We know there's a boom, but when only 1% of 240,000 get in, that then causes people to go, well, okay, what else can I race, right? And then it overfills. This is how Detroit sold out, I think in December or January, which is just unheard of. So you're going to want to register early if you want a spot at these races, which is it's shifting everything, which is cool, right?
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, it is cool to see such a boom, but you need to be more strategic. And I don't even want to say casual. I'm sorry, but like registering for a December race, you shouldn't necessarily have to commit to it if it's not a major in March, but here we are.
It'll be interesting to see what other races experience that capacity because of New York.
Yeah, I think we're just starting. All right, next up we have the closest race finish that I think I've ever seen, that we'll probably ever see this year at the LA Marathon on March 8th. And I feel like LA kind of flies under the radar, but there was so much happening at this race, which is just, again, the sign of the times. American distance runner Nathan Martin, who is a teacher in Michigan, I think, cross-country coach, he surged past pro runner Michael Kamau at the finish, winning by just 1/100th of a second in literally the most, for a marathon, the most dramatic race finish of all time. Like, I saw this and I was just blown away in terms of how the heck that even happens. But lucky for us, Coach Chris was actually literally there on the ground and got to see everything unfold. And there's a whole lot more to the story.
Yeah, so a lot of us have seen that overhead shot where Nathan Martin is like just cranking down the finish chute and takes him at the line, right? But what people didn't see, or most people didn't see before that, was that so Michael Camus was leading the race, and towards the end, there was a section where the runners that I was coaching mentioned that there were no stanchions along the side, and the crowd was going in sort of Tour de France style, right? And at one point, you could only go 3 runners across. It was so narrow in the road.
A bottleneck, if you will.
So as the lead guy is coming through, a woman jumped out from the crowd with a flag and started to run towards the finish line. And he was clipping, so he had to go around her. And then the lead car, the pace car, went off to the side because they wanted to give him, the lead runner, the finishing chute, right? So the car doesn't go in the photo, right? Car goes off to the side, but he was so thrown by the spectator jumping out in front of him that he followed the car. And so he got to the point at which it split, and then he stopped, and he looked around, and you could see the moment of confusion where he was trying to figure out where to go, and then went back in. Meanwhile, Nathan came up behind and clipped him at the line. So,
I completely missed the back part of that. And there's a lot going on. And crazily enough, this is, as you might already know, this is not the only instance that we've had recently of a lead car or the lead bike or whatever it is leading people off course. So let's get to the USATF Half Marathon Championships. I feel like this one is still being talked about. At these championships, the lead, which, you know, the pros are trained to follow, as we found out, almost to their detriment in LA, right?
Yeah.
Led the lead pack literally off course.
And not by a little bit either.
No, by a lot.
By a lot, yeah. So the top 3 women who were, in this was in the last mile.
Yeah,
also
when you're redlined, it's all, again, a series of horrible events.
Yeah, so those runners actually ended up finishing, I think, like 7th. It was the top one.
Yeah.
And so people who were going to win the championship, win the points, win the world rankings, make the world championship team.
Yeah, a lot of team making determined with this.
Yeah, ended up towards the end of the top 10, missing out on that prize money and all the accolades. So it was an absolute disaster for USATF to figure this out.
Atlantic Track Club did, I mean, I feel like every time we met up with our athletes last week, this was being discussed in just stages, because there kept being after effects and things decided posthumously, which were great. Atlantic Track Club did step up and award the top 3 prize money to those that were also led off course, which I do think is fair. I do think that's probably the right thing to do.
And sure, you don't know exactly how the last mile is going to play out, but they were far enough ahead that it was pretty clear that those were the 3 women who were going to be on the podium.
Yes. And also they were the ones that were going to be making the world championship team. I think that's really tough. And then, world championship points I don't actually know if they matter just yet for LA, but we're getting damn close. We're within a year and a half of LA 28. And you want your name on the top of lists. Although I would argue that now their names are, they're very well known, right? Because the story has just taken on a life of its own. But wow, it really, really highlighted what can go wrong at the end of a race.
Yeah, and then just like for the history books, right? Now there is the podium of the actual finishers that went 1, 2, 3, and then there's a secondary, like, honorary podium for the finishers who probably would have gone 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And so it's just incredibly confusing and heartbreaking. I mean, I can't imagine being in that championship race, feeling like you are going to break the tape and ending up, closer to 10th place because you were following the lead and they took you off. It's just it shouldn't happen.
USATF ended up saying that it was like a law enforcement issue, that that's why the lead vehicle ended up leading the top women off course.
Right. And I will say, so there, I saw people online saying you should know the course. Like as a runner, you need to know the course. And I'll tell you, like thinking about any of our races here, we just did an episode about Shamrock Shuffle in Chicago. Lots of turns, right?
Lots of turns.
So there's no way that you're really committing that to memory. If it's a race that you're traveling to, even more difficult. And even if you have it programmed in your watch, like things can go wrong on your end, and race brain doesn't necessarily compute, right? So we lock in on the people in front of us.
They need to be able to if you enter a race, you should be able to reliably follow the lead bike or car, full stop. Right. And if a race isn't properly training those people, then they should be. And if part of the problem is that they're volunteers, then they need to pay them.
Yeah, and I think that because of these two situations, I would imagine that races will double down on making sure that the lead car knows exactly where to go, because this is really bad press and it's just bad for running. Next up is that some of our more experienced runners in their 40s have been crushing races, and we love to see it.
Yeah.
Des Linden jumped into the Disney Half Marathon because she was in Florida training for a desert ultra marathon.
Yep.
And she decided to pop into the race and won. Absolutely crushed it.
Can you imagine being at that race and seeing her fly? I would be so psyched.
Especially, I would be so psyched, but also for the women who went 2 and 3. They had such a great chance at victory, and then you have a Boston Marathon champion just drop in casually.
Don't.
Yeah, so that was great to see. And she at the age of 42 dropped 5:30 miles for this.
Same.
Yeah, same. Just in a casual training run. So that was amazing. And then at the LA Marathon, the winner, it was Priska Cherono of Kenya. And she's 45 years old and has 3 kids. And she dropped 5:33 miles.
Her and Des can train together.
But the fact that she's a mother of 3,
Heck
I'm just like, yeah, exactly. Like, fuck yeah, that's amazing. And I think it gives a lot of people a lot of hope, right?
Yeah.
Like
LA making headlines.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a big deal.
Yeah, it was. It was a big race. But I mean, these are important things though to put out in front of people, of like, you can be in your mid 40s and be a parent and still rock, and you can be, a teacher and a cross country coach and train and do incredible things.
Yep.
More and more, I think we're going to start to see those stories come out, and it's so important to have those aspirational running examples. And I know I get the most excited of those. Like, I love my pros, don't get me wrong, but when an everyday person fucking kills it, like, we are cheering for them so loudly because we see ourselves in them, right? And that's just, it makes the sport so approachable and magical all at once.
I mean, it's already magical that we get to run the same courses as the
pros,
right?
Yeah.
So like, think about the folks at the Disney Half Marathon who get to see that must have just been...
I would have flipped.
Yeah. Yeah. But I love these moments in running.
Keeps it light amongst the 1% New York City entrance rate.
Right. Yeah.
Last but not least, we have some fun things going on too that, I just like seeing these headlines pop up. Sometimes we're at the whimsy of the algorithm. And when this algorithm feeds me this, I'm like, yes, please, more of that. Yeah. Nike is reviving, bringing back. It hasn't really been gone that long, but it's back. The After Dark Tour, which is a women's only series for 10Ks and half marathons, about taking back the night and empowerment. And we've got 7 cities worldwide, which is pretty cool that they're just spreading the running love around. We got 10Ks in Manila, London, Mumbai, and Shanghai, and then half marathon in Mexico City, LA, and Sydney. I hope that part of these are like the marathon courses too, that we'll be able to see. Maybe it's part of the LA marathon course.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah.
I'm hoping. I know nothing, literally nothing, but I'm hoping. And I think that, more and more women are getting into running, and this just gets them excited about it and gets them something to train for. And I know that I'm just happy that they said what they're doing, when they're doing, to give people enough time to train for it, because that's going to mean that they're going to have that ability to have longevity of sport that we don't always get, right, when we have shorter training times. And last but not least, let's talk about butter. Right? Yeah, that's right, butter. So Runner's World reported on this trend of whimsy in running, including butter churning. while you're running? Like, because what else are you doing?
Yeah, so this is, I've seen butter, I've seen ice cream.
Oh yeah, I did see the ice cream
And
one too.
yeah, it's runners, mostly trail runners that I've seen with a backpack that said, hey, let's go for a run and make some butter. And they put the ingredients in a jar and put it in their backpack, and the bouncing from their running is supposedly making butter or ice cream or whatever other shaky thing that you would make in a jar.
I mean, I think we could try it. How long are they running? How long are they running to make this butter?
You know, I have questions, but I will say I have seen it pop up in my algorithm, and I have not watched any of these to completion. So I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I see what you're doing. I'm making butter in my backpack. Okay, that sounds great. I haven't watched them in full.
Okay, well, someone that's listening to this is going to need to either watch them or make some butter themselves and let us know how it goes.
I might need more whimsy in my life. I don't know.
You're not making butter. You're vegan.
I know.
It's going to be me, people. I'm carrying this torch.
Let me know how it turns out.
That's awesome. Woo! I like this spilling the tea.
Yeah, this is
Keep
fun.
it coming, running world. Keep the drama high because we got more coffee to drink.
That's right. So what did we miss